sadly, let me announce to you all, is one step ahead of us, or even 2 steps ahead of us. That is the sad reality. That is the reality. He is now, few months ago we thought we were some steps ahead of him. But the reality of the matter, no. He's some steps ahead of us. We have to catch up with him and overtake him. Who was negotiating with Umo Unokwa? Little did I know that he has perfected his plan to negotiate with almost 95% of all the Enigie in Benin Kingdom. I am not saying 20%. I am not saying 20%. I'm not saying 30%. I'm not saying 40%. I'm not saying 50%. I'm saying over 90% of the Enigie has now joined him to fight our traditional institution. I am not telling you rumors. I'm not telling you 20%. I'm not telling you 90%. There are about 90 something Enigie in Benin Kingdom. 86, Abi? Huh? 86. I think about 92 of the Enigie. 86 has joined him and signed that they want to be independent, that they don't want to be under the Oba of Benin.
Thanks for clicking on this channel. Please subscribe to FO's blog history and click on the notification button so that whenever we upload a new video you will be notified. Izoduwa was a lonely voice crying in the wilderness, warning the suspended Enigie to retrace their steps. Mr. Izoduwa was the only one on social media warning the suspended Enigie to retrace their steps, that the paths they had chosen would lead them to their destruction. They didn't heed his advice. Instead, they orchestrated his arrest and accused him of possessing an AK-47 rifle and other dangerous weapons in order to put him in jail. Look at Mr. Izoduwa, can he even hurt a fly? They finally detained him in Oko prison and brought him to court the next week because they orchestrated the arrest on Friday so that he would spend the weekend in Oko prison. They actually wanted him to sleep the White House, which they succeeded. The court doesn't open on weekends. When they got to court on Monday, they demanded he remove all his videos from the FO's blog on the YouTube channel, which he used in advising them because they were thinking he was the owner of the FO's blog. He told them he is not the owner, but can never deny that he doesn't know the owner. The owner is my friend, he lives abroad, I have met him, and he loves carrying my videos, hence I cannot stop him from carrying my video. Actually, we at FO's blog love carrying Izoduwa's videos. FO's blog thrives on Mr. Izoduwa's brilliance, his historical analyses are so clear that even a child could grasp them. In fact, it was his videos we used in building our YouTube channel. Meanwhile, in the same period, Obasiki's SSAs were threatening us via email that they would unveil the people behind the FO's blog YouTube channel, and they would arrest us whenever they were able to identify us. Thank God, Obasiki is no longer in power, and nobody is threatening us again. We are finally free from all kinds of threats. Mr. Izoduwa is a hero, a fearless, determined, and hard-working young man who is independent. He is able to express and articulate his opinions because he is independent, and he does not get handouts from politicians. We at FO's blog can say whatever we want to say because we do not owe anyone except Mr. Izoduwa, who helped to build our FO's blog YouTube channel. Now, Enigie are on their knees, begging for forgiveness. The question we at FO's blog are asking is, where is Godwin Obasiki, the architect of this turmoil? Mr. Izoduwa warned them, yet they conspired against him. Today, he lives freely, while they wallow in their mistakes. Tradition is not easily dismantled, and truth always prevails. Scores of Enigie in the Benin Kingdom, suspended by the Benin Traditional Council, BTC, acting on the authority of the Benin monarch, appealed to His Royal Majesty, Oba Elwahe II, and the Traditional Institution for mercy over alleged misconduct. Watch the video as reported by EBS TV.
A week ago, the Benin Traditional Council had announced the suspension of 67 Enigie in Benin Kingdom over alleged misconduct and rebellious activities against the Oba of Benin. The affected Enigie, in a letter of appeal delivered on their behalf by Victor Etunsa, the suspended Enigie of Ugoniye Kikbuba, said all they are pleading for now is forgiveness and appealed for mercy for all their shortcomings. They denied subscribing to any oath not to pay allegiance to the Oba of Benin. The Enigie appealed to the Benin monarch to temper justice with mercy, that it will be suicidal for anyone to wrestle with his personal God, which the Oba of Benin represents in their individual lives. They said they never swore to any oath not to visit the palace of the Oba of Benin or answer to any summon or invitation by His Royal Majesty.
We are all aware of how that we have offended, we the Enigie in Benin Kingdom, Edo South in particular, have offended His Royal Majesty, Omonoba Nedo Akodobolo, Oba Eware II, CFR. Your Majesty, sir, it is often said that it will be suicidal for one to wrestle with his personal God, which we represent in our individual lives. We are therefore appealing most passionately for Your Majesty to have compassion and forgiveness for any of all our shortcomings. As our Father, it is often said that the hand you use to beat a child is the same hand you use to draw him close to yourself. We are prepared and willing to appear before Your Majesty, Omonoba Nedo, on your invitation, and we are willing and prepared to continue to perform our tasks and obligations to Your Majesty and the palace.
The suspended Enigie later moved to the palace of the Oba of Benin, where they went on their knees, appealing and wailing for the forgiveness of the Oba. They, however, promised to continue to beg for mercy from the Oba of Benin and appealed to well-meaning individuals to join them in the plea for mercy.
They should not be forgiven. Let them go and look for Godwin Obasiki, who put them into this mess. They bear the consequences of conniving with a betrayer. We at FO's blog were constantly warning them to desist from their rebellious behavior and stop fraternizing with a well-known betrayer, Godwin Obasiki. They didn't listen. Mr. Izoduwa warned them too with many of his videos, but they didn't listen. Please sit down and watch one of his videos as he warns these suspended Enigie.
Enigie now see themselves that they can stand on their own. I'm not giving you rumor. I am telling you facts. Izoduwa do not give rumor. Before anything case Sunu not counted do, some of us are aware already. We have been aware of this matter 4-5 months ago. But if we come out and speak about it, Izoduwa, owe swene, owe nabaseki ne, but I told you people few months ago that the governor that the Obasiki that we are aware does not know how to back off. He is not backing off. In short, sadly, let me announce to you all, he's one step ahead of us, or even 2 steps ahead of us. That is the sad reality. That is the reality. He is now, few months ago, we thought we were some steps ahead of him. But the reality of the matter, no. He's some steps ahead of us. We have to catch up with him and overtake him. Enigie is singular. Enigie is plural. So, he has taken another step. Remember, there was a video I did. I told you he was negotiating with the Iyasherudo. He was negotiating with Ogiame. There's no Ogiame, with the miscreant or the nincompoop, not Arisco. Then, that he also was negotiating with Umo Unokwa. Little did I know that he has perfected his plan to negotiate with almost 95% of all the Enigie in Benin Kingdom. I am not saying 20%. I am not saying 20%. I'm not saying 30%. I'm not saying 40%. I'm not saying 50%. I'm saying over 90% of the Enigie has now joined him to fight our traditional institution. I am not telling you rumors. I'm not telling you 20%. I'm not telling you 90%. There are about 90 something Enigie in Benin Kingdom. 86, Abi? Huh? 86. 86. I think about 92 of the Enigie. 86 has joined him and signed that they want to be independent, that they don't want to be under the Oba of Benin. $86. I'm not saying, I'm giving you statistics, exact figure. 86 of them. Even some of the Enigie that some of you respect on the social media also signed. We are not going to call his name or their name. We are giving them benefit of doubt. Izoduwa is giving them benefit of that. In the next 3 days, if they don't come out to say they were not part of it, then their names will also be published with the other names on the social media space. 86 of them. So if anybody at this time, any Edoma at this time, think that the governor is not 5 steps ahead of us, he or she should think again. We are not dealing with a human being. We are not dealing with a human being. When all of you were posting that Eriobe had 2 billion Benin Royal Museum, I did not say anything. I sent a voice note to one of my pa, Mr. Onarise. I sent a voice note to one of my pa, and I told him that that is a Greek gift. Is a diversion. That is what he is, a strategist. He knows what he's doing. Or if you look at one waroi, you are planning your way. Nobody takes me serious. I have been saying this for a very long time. The person you are dealing with is not a dummy. He's a wicked strategist. There's a lot of steps ahead of us. He's breaking the kingdom within, from inside and from outside. It has never been this bad. It has never. 1897 is even better. We can tolerate a betrayal from outside, but from a betrayal from inside is what we cannot tolerate. It is what we cannot tolerate. 86 Enigie signed that they don't want to be part, they don't want to be under the Oba of Benin. We have to find solution to the problem. You see them always gallivanting around him in all occasions. I was in the palace throughout yesterday. No single Enigie was in the palace. But as at the same time, they were in a carol. A carol, the secretariat. Christmas carol with him. Then, Oviedo e la jawa hwe odo Izoduwa we tori ne. Oviedo we do la jawa hwe odo Izoduwa we tori ne. That what do I find? I always find it. I always that I'm always trying to make a big deal out of what is not a big deal. Is this not a big deal? That someone comes, sworn that he's going to destroy the kingdom, and is currently doing it, is finalizing it. Nimayawa Gunu Abita here a few months ago, when my name was number 1 on the DSS list here, they said that should everybody in Benin keep quiet for him to do what he is doing, because am I governor the there. I don't speak about this man. He does his business and I do my business. But trying to shred apart the only legacy that I have, the traditional institution, that has recognized, that is recognized all over the world. The reason that the Benin people is being talked about all over the world is because of this same traditional institution that he so wished to break apart. For what reason? To prove that he is the governor? To prove that he is the governor? Is that the only reason that you want to tear an institution that is over 2,000 years old in order for you to prove that you are the governor? I have never in my life seen wickedness that is quantifiable with this kind of wickedness. And everybody just kept mute. Those people who have been parabolating themselves, that area awonona. Let them come out now and also speak on this matter. It's not when you want to gain something from the palace that you will be talking. But there is a fight now. Everybody must come out now and fight. Everybody must come out now and fight. Because Izoduwa ahave ya go on now. Some useless, very uncouth, illiterate presenters will also come out and say that I have started my own conspiracy again. But there is a signed paper where 86 of them signed. The palace was copied, the government house was copied, and the House of Assembly was copied. We heard that Ogie Gbainesi Loko is the architect of these a vagabond vagabonds. He's the architect, he's the leader of these vagabonds. So the point of this matter is this. The point of this matter is this. There is a conspiracy against the referred throne of the palace of the Oba of Benin. And we have to collectively stand our ground and fight for the survivor of the Benin throne. Now, for them to succeed, they will need the House of Assembly. For them to succeed, they will need the House of Assembly. And that's where it's very interesting. And the House of Assembly is currently being pocketed by the present governor of Edo State. The House of Assembly is currently being pocketed by the state's governor. We have the Benin State Edict of 1979, Edit number 16 of 1979 of Traditional Rulers and Chief Edict. Now, this is where it's interesting. For that to succeed, they will need a House of Assembly members. So people want my opinion on how can this be stopped. Two ways it can be stopped. The Oba of Benin can stop them, and the Benin people can stop them. The Oba of Benin can stop them, and the Benin people can stop them. How? I'll prove it to you. Let me tell you how they can be stopped. 2 ways. The Benin people can stop the House of Assembly from ever thinking towards undoing what has been done through the Gazette of 1979. But the shortest way to stop these people, the shortest way to stop these people, the shortest way to stop these people is through the Oba. How? Very simple. The major reason they are able to sign that they don't want to become, they don't want to be under the Oba of Benin is because they are Enigie. I want you to understand this. The reason that they have the power to now say that my Igualo is because they are Enigie. Is because they are Enigie. That is the first reason. Now, by the traditional laws, an Enigie is an hereditary title. To unseat an Enigie is traditionally not feasible. Because it's an hereditary title. But to suspend an Enigie is a very easy task. To unseat is the undoing of our tradition, because it's an hereditary stool or title bestowed on one individual and made hereditary by the Oba of Benin. But suspension is the key. When you suspend, they cease to have the authority to function as an Enigie over their territories, the dukedom created by the Oba for them, and hence cannot have power to decide the fate of their own position or the position or the locality or the dukedom that they preside over. So when the Oba of Benin suspend an Enigie, he inherently loses the right to function as an Enigie. And when you lose your right to function as an Enigie, you no longer have the power to clamor for your independence, because your position is no longer in existence. So you are no longer in the position to now negotiate your freedom or not. Massive suspension for all of them. All. As a matter of fact. That is a quick fix. Quick, easy fix. Anyway, the easy way out is a mass suspension. They must all chop suspension for the time being. And then the Oba will give the head back back to the original traditional position of the Ojonwe, which is the oldest traditional institution in Benin land, Ojonwe. So we will reverse these traitors. We will reverse these traitors. Take their position that they no longer appreciate, that they are now fighting the source of their relevance, and give this position back to the original owners, who are the who are the Ojonwes. Ojonwes originally supposed to be the custodian of these community leadership. So the ball that they think is in their court has never really been in their court. It is a sheer ignorance, arrogance, and stupidity that make them believe that they will fight. You think you have an authority. With a flip, Isehure once believed that he was the most powerful person in Benin Kingdom outside the Oba of Benin. In a flip, he's as irrelevant as Zimbabwe dollar and be Uganda dollar. It's no longer relevant. Nobody even talk about him. Just like in few months and few years from now, nobody is ever going to talk about these Enigie. They are going to be used and be dumped by this same person, no yin call. And again, the people that near suffer will tell Dona that the people that they are stressing us now. Am I stress? What is supposed to relax now? I enjoy life here. But I'm not talking about their betrayal, their nonsensical ideological pattern. So in few months from now, will be enjoying. A time will come, and it's not far. Our career will equate our suspended Enigie live. That is where we are going now. That is where we are going now. We are waiting for their press conference. We are waiting for their press conference. Suspension is not a difficult thing. The Oba comes down tomorrow through Benin Traditional Council and say this Enigie and this Enigie and this Enigie and this Enigie and this Enigie, for the fact that for the reason A, B, C, and D, they are now suspended. Then the palace should leave the rest for us, the Benin people. Even these people that they are thinking that they are in charge, and then I suspend them. egwa wa ke gihu na ya yegi ni ayegi kweni ari like gwa ya ni ai kweni ai kwe like community oyan a community na gwa no bawa kate muni ani agba oge. It's very aware. We are going to make them irrelevant. We will begin to talk about what was their reason. What reason the Obas of Benin of the old created dukedomship. We want to start educating them. But today, most of the atrocities committed in respective communities are enhanced by these people. Enigie ni doa de ba kofra, eso de kofra, yang bini konfra, a traditional head. Na we no gba orewo eso na do de ba kofra and do use ewo no ba mu ni aya bini konfra. Edowana sunu or edowana sunu. They were meant to bring justice, peace, and unity amongst their people. Instead, they started oppressing the Edo people in their lands, selling, reselling, double selling, triple selling, selling, reselling, double selling, doing all sort of nonsense. If not because of there are still some few respectable Enigie, I would have moved the motion that the Enigie system should be abolished. Because go to most of these communities that you have crisis all over. You have crisis all over. They are the cause of the crisis in these respectable communities. They are the cause of the crisis in these respective communities. They are the cause of this crisis. We'll rectify all of that. I spoke about. Not all of these Enigies are Oba's descendants. We talked about that. In the next lecture, we're going to speak about that. Not all of them. But very few of them are not. But most of them are not. You understand? So, it is even now that he has shown when Kata so there, it might tie for since he had your now. It is not even now that the Edo people should come together and properly deal with these bad eggs. People were given the responsibilities to bring peace, to bring justice to their community. Most of the atrocities in the communities that you see all over Benin Kingdom are caused by these same elements who now feel that they want to be independent. Imagine if these people, they are not independent too. They are misbehaving as much as they are misbehaving now. They are independent. If not the palace that checks, cross-check or check and balance these are nonsensical characters, Benin Kingdom would have been a full-blown war zone, catalyzed by these same betrayers. So, to me, most of them does not even know why in the first place the Obas of Benin created them. Most of them think that being an Enigie is selling 1 by 2 or 100 by 100. Most of them think being an Enigie gives them the privilege to carry big yash. We must call them to order. We don't want to publish any name now. We are giving chances to those who can still go and rectify their names, to go and start rectifying their names now. Because we will call each and every one of them out for the Benin people to know who they are. Thank God Enigie no gesef. Enigie no ge menami signature we know there. Imi aya da come we hone. By this time, imi ase women since we na ya da come we ho. Mo say Enigie no ge. Because this is sacrilegious. That people now grow to the extent that they no longer know the limitation of their past. People now grow to the extent that they no longer admonished the source of their power. That is tragic. That is a tragedy of the highest order. If you people allow yourself to be used by someone who has less than 2 years to spend, Odo Kawa Kaido, where would you now run to? If you are suspended today as an Enigie, do you think that the local government or the House of Assembly or the state governor or the state government has the power, or the federal government has the power to reinstate you? Do you think that the state government created any of these dukedom? Do you think that in the matter of tradition, whether the state government has a right over it? It is rather very unfortunate. Being foolish is an understatement. If any of this Enigie is your father, okay, you call your father to another. Ihia wo etanse no nya. Ai gbobo no pe no wa. You give your loyalty to someone who did not make you. You give your loyalty to an institution that has no say over your existentiality. And you rebel against an institution that made you who you are. Just like our brother has said here, which of these Enigie came from the communities that near Baoge? Which of the Enigie? Who Enigie na Ewona Kiri Enigie na? They are even foreigners in hotel wawe ya kere o bana gian ne agba owe woni. To hear only na, I have it Tamiana that Napu Lave guys na near Boni Akire. They don't even know what is at stake. They don't know with just one letter they can be made so irrelevant as they possibly cannot be moving forward. Because of the baggy. Ayobo no loria. Yaga mi mata we won yagi tie. Give them brand envelope. Give them brand envelope and see how shameless some of them can be. Give them brand envelope and see that they don't have your interest at heart. Give them a brand envelope. If they cannot deny you, if they cannot take an edomas, then I hear no be or your way. It is rather very painful. It is rather very painful. Aboya wa kyoborea na ide de gwan because arrest oma agion wa ko adori DSS mo wa ri Abuja agbon ya wa kyoboro wo tedo wa age ya wa wari ya do wa your babo. If this is what they want to arrest me for, they should go ahead. Edini no marie dota ipara gbo ne bodo mo vorame igekwe iya yara gbonia we do ne bunra gbonia. They are all alive, and people are trying to divide the kingdom. How do you think that those a period of Bema, how do you think that they were being crowned, or some of them were coronated recently? It's the same Enigie at Ovia or your boy Ayeke to undermine the Oba of Benin. You think this conspiracy is just 3 days old? You think this conspiracy is just 2 weeks old? There are these rebellions that do not conspire against even foreigners in a bid to spite an institution that made them who they are. Man. It's just sad. It's just sad. It's just saddening. Izoduwa we told you now. Izoduwa I told you now. They are already planning to do a press conference in Mahenya. Go and meet any of these Enigie. Ask them the history of the community that. They don't know anything. Most of them don't know anything. 99% or 98%. They cannot even tell you the history. They cannot even when I hear one by two when I hear party when why dear donor annual club, you see a lot of them going clubbing. They don't believe in Gassim Osegedo. How many of them have seen give scholarship out? How many of them have you seen on the public space, upon all the lands that they sell, was able to sponsor one of the indigenous of that their community to become somebody in life? How many of them have you seen? You don't see anything from them. None of them contribute. Most of them, let me not say all of them, most of them don't contribute to the welfare, to the growth and the development of their respective domains. That is a parasitic association. I will have to start calling these people out. I didn't call these people out all this while. You want after I showed them. But they have called themselves out. Since they want to be popular, we will make them very popular in the negative way. So, if anybody want to accuse Izoduwa, you must have a proof. Because you can only attack me, but I'm telling you that here sign a bay, here 86, Government House was copied, Palace was copied, House of Assembly was copied. Now, let's not say that I was too one-sided. That what if they have a genuine pain in their heart? If any Enogie feel aggrieved, maybe probably because he wanted to see the Oba of Benin, at the beginning, and all of that, you feel aggrieved that some certain issues happen, that he might some very unscrupulous figure genuinely, you are supposed to go and meet the EASE and lay a formal complaint of what is going on. The EASE will now forward the complaint to Omonomba, and Omonomba will now look at it. These were channels, there are different channels of dispute resolution in Benin. Everybody in Benin Kingdom cannot all at the same time be happy. It is not possible. Not everybody is happy in Obaseki's government. Not everybody is happy in Nyesom Wike's government. Not everybody is happy in Buhari's government. Not everybody is happy in the cabinet of Uluowori. Not everybody is expected to be happy in the cabinet of the Oba of Benin. Likewise, other traditional institutions all over the world. They always aggrieved parties, but they are channels of dispute resolution. There are channels that you must follow, you must pass for these issues to be resolved. Then you have not undergone any of these channels. Then you just said you want to be independent. Independent, why? Why do you want independence? They want independence for selfish reasons. Why do they want to be independent? They should come out and tell us, why do they want the independence in the first place? Are they slaves? They are the ones making us slaves in their domain. They are the ones making us slaves in their own domain. They are the ones who is giving more relevance to strangers over us because strangers gave them some money. You cannot take the hour. The little flies that can be caught up by the Oba of Benin with like this. Whether you believe me or you don't believe me, It's not my ethic. If I speak against anybody, it has to be because they tried to undermine the traditional institution, the laws of the land. That's the only time I speak. Outside comparison, outside context of if not kind, Edo, if not kind do, can never see me talk about anybody. I do not criticize the state government, whether it always traffic light or it always street light or it go wow, it wow, it our build airport or it build seaport or makame Izoduwa kamorokba owo me but the only time I speak against the state government is only when he tries, like he has been doing, to break, destroy our traditional institution.